Okay, we are live for the session here. Sorry, I didn't realize I was recording. I was just kind of pulling this stuff up. So I'm getting the invite out here. Give me 1 second. So we are live for the Q&A. On TOS. All right, so this. Okay, good. All right, so there we go. All right, well, everybody gets joined in here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm trying to think of what I wanted to do is maybe switch to like no grid. Like if there's a way to just show nothing. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to call it. I don't like clear it out altogether. But what I want to do is I just want to kind of show. I'm gonna close ThinkOrSwim altogether, and we're gonna log in. Okay, and take a look at it. And the futures are down 50 cents. Really, like Amazon just tanked like 100. Let me see. Let me minimize all this stuff here. Okay, give it a second. Give it a second. Ooh, hey, Alpesh, how's it going? Good evening, positive trenders. This is our first evening one other than our usual nightly live stream. So, all right, so I just shut down ThinkOrSwim. And so what I want to do is today, feel free to ask either questions in the chat or in the Q&A box. I'll try to juggle between those. Hey, Bose. So I'm just going to open ThinkOrSwim just normal, right? So I'm just going to, can you guys see my screen okay? Alpesh, can you see the screen okay? Okay, good. All right, so what I'm going to do is open ThinkOrSwim. So I just double click ThinkOrSwim. Sometimes it gives this admin thing. I don't really know how to get rid of that, but usually it takes a minute here. It installs updates and stuff. What I want to do is show you something cool. You guys may not know about this. So what we're going to look at here is just when if anybody is finding issues with a little bit of lag in your ThinkOrSwim, one way to make that go away real quickly is the following, okay? Yeah, MicroStrader. I thought I did that at one point, so I need to change the installation to get rid of it. Yeah, I'll figure it out. So that's one aspect of ThinkOrSwim I don't know yet. But anyway, what I want to show you here, guys, if you can see the, I don't know why. Oh, because I have this open. Let me turn that. The broadcaster. Okay, so once that's gone, okay, so right here, this little gadget right here, the little widget right there in the corner, if you go to the memory usage down here, okay, you can maximize it, right? You can maximize the amount of, basically virtual memory that it uses. So what you do is you increase this the highest, and then you make this, I basically have all those maxed out. Okay, then you save it. Okay, I'm not gonna save it right now because it's already saved. And then you log in. Okay. And you go like that. So during installation, something capturing it, if you enable it. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I thought I must have just done it really fast. That's probably what it is. Okay, so here it's going to load up. And I believe it loads up whatever the last thing you were on, I'm pretty sure. So it creates the desktop. It pulls up any windows that you had open. So you can see here I have option windows open, things like that. So I'm going to close all these. I'll wait till the main screen rolls up right here. Okay, I've got the Q&A thing pulled up too. Can you guys see the chat box too? That's pretty cool. But that's good. I could probably move it to another area. But all right, so let's just kind of get started at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all these gadgets here. So these are gadgets. Now I'm regretting doing this. I think you can load your workspace. There's a lot of funds. There's the CCIs. Okay, all that good stuff. Okay, so pretty much it defaults, I think, with one window, right? And then, studies, you could just remove all studies here. Okay, so I'm gonna remove that for now. Okay, so here we are, like we open ThinkOrSwim, right? So we're logged in. I think sometimes it opens like an initial prompt and you just kind of exit out of it. But we're just gonna kind of go clockwise through ThinkOrSwim, kind of hit all the major points right here, okay? So big stuff here, you know, it tells you if you're connected, tells you if you have real-time data or not. That's actually funny. If you click on the on-demand button, it will change everything around. I'll do that at the end because that can consume some data, okay? So here you have your account info, right? To actually show you the account info, you can make it private or unprivate, right? So this is just the SPX account. So no big deal. Have fun with the account number. It shows your account number here. But if you're ever sharing your screen, you don't want to show your account number, you can click this, okay? I know it's not really private. It shows all your buying power and all that stuff. And you can show like your liquidity and all that stuff, okay? So that's pretty cool. One of the things that I noticed too, even if you have a cash account, which is a cash account, it still shows day trades, so you can ignore that if you have a cash account. But you do need to verify with ThinkOrSwim if you have a cash account or not. So I highly encourage cash accounts because you don't have that pattern day trade rule. So even with $1,000 account, I could make, you know, 4 $250 option trades, right, in a day. And then tomorrow I'd be able to trade it again, especially if I were profitable on it, right? So, okay, so that's the idea there. So I just keep it private just for when I do my public stuff. Okay, so that's this screen right here. This screen right here. Now you can move it, right? You can kind of make it go away by clicking that little arrow right there. Okay, so you can kind of do that with it. You can resize it, you know, if you want your watch list to be big, if they want it to be, you know, kind of teeny tiny, stuff like that. So I'm fine with like kind of the default type thing right there. Just have it on the side there. So the cool part about this, I really like that. Now I wish actually ThinkOrSwim were on the line because is there anybody have a cash account but still do spreads? No, can't do it. And the reason is because it's too much risk, right? Because what you're doing is, yeah, you're buying. Now you're totally protected in a spread, right? You're not going to get hurt in a spread, but you can sell legs of a spread, right? So you can sell the legs of a spread, and if you get caught with a naked option on it, right? They tell you, infinite risk. So unfortunately, they won't let you do it. You can do it with like Robinhood and stuff like that, but Robinhood actually isn't a cash account. So yeah, so you can't do spreads, and you can't do complex option stuff, right? Like in iron condors, anything where you're selling or writing an option, right? Writing and selling are the same thing. Okay, good. Check to my account info is on the top. How can I move to the sidebar? No, it's not a stupid question. So your account info is on the top. How can you move to the side? That's a good question. I've never messed with it before. Let me see. You can detach the gadget, or you can move that there. Okay, let's see. So your account info is here. That's weird. It's on the top. Do you have a PC or a Mac? What does this do? Okay, that makes it go away there. PC. So you're saying all this stuff is at the top? I think I've seen this before. No problem, DJ. My pleasure. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can manipulate. I've never had that. I've never experienced that before. Now, keep in mind, I'm not like affiliated with ThinkOrSwim or anything like that. So I'm not like a customized gadget. So that's the one thing, about it is that there's all, I don't even know how I got there. There you go, customized gadget. So current setting, move up, move down, load defaults. Oh, that's the gadget itself that was, okay, so it was trying to get me to customize this. You can customize this, you can remove your day trades. So if I wanted to, I could actually remove the day trades left altogether if it bothered me. So I could go like that, and there it's gone. Okay, or I could remove it altogether. Not sure why it's at the top. That is really odd. I don't think I've ever seen anything to manipulate it like that. That one thing I will say, guys, if you have ThinkOrSwim, right? If you have TD Ameritrade, which you have to if you have ThinkOrSwim, don't be afraid to call these guys. They usually have a phone number right here. Hold on. No, it's not this one. It's that's this help. Oh, sorry. So right here's the help window. We'll get to that in a little bit, but here's the help window. So if you don't have your phone number available, yeah, they're awesome at helping. Here's their phone number. Just call them right there. Okay, give them a call, and then they want your account number. Just go there and like give them your account number, right? And they'll pull it up, or you can give them your social or whatever the case is, right? So just hit that help button right there, and you can call them. Okay, call the desk. And guys, these guys are really helpful. And Justin, you're absolutely right. If you guys have questions about options, like you can ask me, but if you want to talk to like a guy like on a trading guest out there, they'll pick up the phone. You can talk to him. It's awesome. I learned a lot from doing that. I had questions. I was like, "Oh, guys, I think I'm stuck in a trade," or whatever the case was, and they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, you go do this." They're up in Chicago, right? And you talk to them. You can also talk to customer service. And I think I don't know if they do it anymore. They used to give you like a 30-minute demonstration of it and all that stuff. But if you call and ask for the technical team, right, when you're kind of going through the options, you can ask questions about scripts, hey, like what's going on with my script right here. They can't write the script for you, but they can help you troubleshoot some stuff like scans and things like that. So they are great at helping. So that's what I would do, Chai, just to ask him that, because I really honestly have no idea. Because I don't think there's like a layout thing altogether. There might be. Let's just check setup right here. You could try to reset workspace to default, see if that does anything. Application settings. You could put, let me just look here. So did you see how I got here? So this is kind of one of the things too, like we'll get around to this, but that's your setup stuff. Notifications or defaults, like my profile. System. So there might be like a little setting in here or something like that. I know it's an intimidating application, but once you get used to it and all the basics, like everything starts to kind of come together on it. So display. I don't know. Yeah, you might want to ask them. Just call them and ask them. They're great. Oh no, you're fine. All right, cool. So that's this window right here, right? And then so you can see I can kind of move it to the left with that, and I can move it to the right with that little arrow right there, okay? So you have this, that's just account info up there or whatever, okay? So right here, this is a really cool button. It's adding gadgets, right? So in here we can put gadgets. So you guys know for the most part, I keep all my watch lists here, but you don't have to have that, right? You can do, I can put a calculator in there if I want to do my calculations with it, right? I could put a, time and sales in there, if I'm interested, right? Will this be available on YouTube? Yeah, we're going to record this, Harvey. Absolutely. Absolutely. I record everything for our folks, and it is being recorded, so we're good. Okay. You can play Minesweeper if you want to. Remember that game? Woo! Okay. Anyway. So yeah. But one of the there's a couple cool gadgets in here that I want to point out. Obviously, I like to keep my watch lists on here. One is you could use the news, right? So this is pretty cool. This shows you pre-market movers, shows you extended hours movers. There's a lot in here, right? ETF movers, shows you things like that, so you can use the news that way. It's got really cool tools. Trade Flash is cool. I like this one a lot. If you guys are interested in like unusual option activity or block trades and stuff like that, this is a great tool to use for that. Okay, large block trade, or large calls, right? Big delta trade, things like that. And you can kind of catch this through the day, right? If you see anything interesting that catches your eye for that. One of the other ones I like, Trader TV is neat. Okay, so Trader TV, you can tune into the TD Ameritrade network. You just hit play right there, and if there's anything going on. So there you go, you got that guy there. It also does CNBC. Now it only does it through market hours. Oh, there's Kramer talking. So you can watch Kramer, and you could actually detach this if you have multiple screens. So you don't have to be subscribed to Hulu or anything like that to get it, right? You could put that on another monitor, right, and watch Kramer. Okay. All right, so that's that. Sorry, and it's commercial feed. That's right. That's the best part. Can I load a watch list you share via file or so? So I'll show you that in a second. So let's get to that. I want to show you one more thing. I think Tetris is cool. Scratchpad, blah, blah, blah. Live audio, live news. Live news is good, so you can kind of see what's going on with your stuff, but I use that on the left side. So let's do that. So let's show a watch list. Hey, Natalie, good evening. Hope you're doing well. So one of the things right here, what we do is add a watch list, right? So we put our watch list in there, okay? So one of the things that we could do is, we have like our personal watch list, right? So maybe I've got my 15 orb list here, right? And you can just add watch list and watch list. Now, one of the features I would like them to to do with this is be able to really move these around. You can't really, like, it'd be nice if you just kind of plop them and all that stuff. Because one of the annoying things is if you have a really big watch list, you have to scroll down and down and down like this to get to the end of it. That's annoying, but it is what it is. So yeah, so if you want to share my 15-word watch list, or if you have a watch list that you want to load, all you got to do is you click share, and those little share buttons are everywhere. So here's my 15-word list, and it'll pop up. Now I can share it right here, right? And then if you want to pull up my watch list, you just go to setup up here and open shared item, and you'd paste that link in here. Okay, it works a little odd through Twitter, but you could preview it, you can see what it is, and then you open it, and boom, right? So there's my watch list, and then you can see it's called From Bubblehead, but you could rename it and call it 15, or for me, whatever the case is there. And then boom, you've got your watch list. And then what you do is, if you want to load that here now, I could find watch list and load 15 orb for me, and there it is, right there. So that's the easiest way to transfer my data to you. So that's what I do. So if you guys go into the Lotto Fun folder, right? So if you go into the Google Drive, right? You go to the Lotto Fun folder, you'll see that I've got codes in here, like for instance, so scans, right? So, and here's the Lotto Fun list. The first one is the Lotto Fun list itself. Okay. So if I want to load that up, I would just go here, setup, open shared item. That's right, Dicha. Okay, so that's this watch list. So there's the Lotto Fun list right there. So now you guys have access to the Lotto Fun list, right? So this is what I go through at the close, right? And you can customize these. Everything is pretty much customizable in ThinkOrSwim, right? So you could right click here and customize, right? And if I only want to show just like the price, what you can do is you click all these and you remove them. And if I just want to show the, the last or whatever, you can look it up here, like last. Let's put that in there, and then there we go. That's just the last price. But it doesn't say what the ticker is, right? So you probably want that, right? And so symbol is the one for that. And then you can kind of move that to the top there. So it shows first. There you go. There's your symbol, and there's that, right? Okay, cool. So with the watch list, and now that we're in here, right? So you can pick a watch list. You can have a personal watch list. You can make your own. Like one of the ones I use is a public one, right? I'll use like the Dow. Right? Where is that? It'd be up here, right? So the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? That's we go through that every day, right? And so that shows the whole Dow Jones Industrial, the 30 stocks, right? So good stuff. So if I want to, yeah, absolutely. I've done that. Yeah, and we'll go through that too, and I can add that to it. I have my workspace shared and all that stuff. It's in there somewhere else. But yeah, we'll take care of that. Okay, so here, just real quick with the watch list, this is the coolest thing right here, the symbol link. This is what I really like this, because this means that whatever is marked with this 9, this purple 9, anywhere is linked to whatever I'm clicking on here. So if I click Caterpillar, it'll pull up the Caterpillar chart, right? So I've got Caterpillar right there. If I want Goldman Sachs, I just click on it, pulls up the Goldman Sachs chart. So I can go to my watch list, and anything is interesting. If I want to see like what's green or what's red or something like that, I just go to just click on that and it pulls up right here. So you can go right to that. And then, if you have multiple, windows, so if I end up going here, right, so we're kind of jumping around here, but this is your grid box right here. It will initially probably be just one box, but if you want 2 things in there, okay, well, I've got this box and this box, okay? And I had one question, earlier, but we'll get to that in a second. So now here I've got this grid, right? I've basically got a grid of 2 things, right? So maybe here I want, and this, you guys know I do this with the, so maybe I want the 15-minute chart of Triple M, and then I want the 5-minute chart too, so I can kind of compare and see what they're doing, right? You can see right here, I've got my little arrow. I'm just right-clicking in here, it highlights it, and it kind of zooms in automatically, but you can use the zoom tools and all that stuff. Okay, so you start to get used to it. Like, you'll get better at it when you really want to see something, right? Like, you're like, what do I do? So here, it's like the hand tool itself. I can drag it and move it around, right? So yeah, and I'll share like custom studies, whatever you guys need. So anyways, this is really cool. I had one question though, real quick on through Twitter that asked like, how do you set up the grids? Well, this is one way to do it. And then what you could do is you right-click right here. Right? and you click detach. Okay, so now I've got a grid, I've got an extra window here, and if I have multiple monitors, I can take that and put that grid on a different monitor, and I'll have the 15 and the 5 on that monitor, and maybe on this monitor, I just want to focus on, like, the 60s, right? But I want to see what's going on with the 15 and the 5 on the other monitor, right? So that was one of the questions that we had tonight. Cool. So that's multiple charts on a screen. Okay. So, and that's how you do it. You just do it with the grid right there. So if I want, if I want to go crazy and put like, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? If I want 24 on a screen, right, I could do that too, right? Or 32 on a screen. So, okay. Good. So BOSE, so every time, and now if I want to detach this, I just right click up here, detach, and now it could get overloaded here, but now I've got 32 on one screen. I can put that on another monitor if I really want to. I mean, that's kind of information overload, but it isn't. Now to put it all back, you just go there and you maximize your cell, right? And you kind of go between, okay? BOSE, every time I load a chart, I need to adjust it manually, like zoom to a particular size, et cetera. How do I apply that setup to all the chart I open next? That's a good question. So, so pretty much here, so if I just click back on 9 here, right, that'll pull up triple M on this chart. So there's a couple ways you can do that. So that kind of goes through this little box right here. So you can see there's widgets down here, there's things you could add, there's little features in here, there's customized, right? This is how we make our, we add our 15s in there and all that stuff, right? Like our insides and all that, okay? So yeah, so you just manually and zoom like a particular size. All right, yeah, because I do a lot of zooming too, but you can kind of set it here. So now next, we'll get to these levels up here. These are like your tabs up here. We'll look into the charts right here. So this is your chart, master window right here. This is your navigation stuff, right? And then here is actually within the chart. So guys, if there's something you like, and you're like, hey, can you share that chart with me? You just click share right there. Right, and you click it, you share, and then it's like boom. Then you can load that link up, and I would share it right there, and you could load it, right? If you wanted parabolic SAR on your chart for some reason, right? So, okay. So to adjust your size, so you see you have all sorts of settings up here. So that's your share button right there. There's other stuff right here. That's your colors, right? This shows your, the price, all that stuff. You can actually put orders in from there, right? And from one of those things. So we click share. Here's your chart describer. So this tells you about the standard deviation price over 20. It's just little info type stuff like that. You can get rid of that there. Okay. This little guy right here, it's like a beaker, right? It's like science studies or something like that, right? You can click on that and that pulls up your studies. Okay. So these are your studies, right? So let's say I want to do a 5-minute chart. Okay, 5 day, 5 minutes. So I just click on that. That's your time little box right there. 5 day, 5 minute. And let's say I want to edit my studies. Okay, I want to get rid of this parabolic SAR, right? And then, and now let's say I want to pull up something else. Well, you could go in here and you could search for a study. If I want to add RSI to it, you can click RSI. Oop, that's actually how to code RSI. There, you hit apply. Boom, I've got RSI on my chart at the bottom, right? You could apply or okay, and you could save it as a set. You could be like, okay, this is my, my RSI, right? That type of thing. You save it, right? So you have that. So guys, so this is here. So if I load a study set, like one of the things I've got is like GoBar, 5 optimized or whatever the case is. So on this one, I've got, the CCI on here. I've got the cloud. I've got all my floor pivot levels. And so BOSE, so one of the things you want to look at here is click on that widget, right? And then go to your price axis. Okay, right now it's trying to fit everything in one screen, and then you got to zoom in. But if you click on this, right, if you unclick all those, right, it won't do it automatically, right? So you hit OK there, and then you zoom in one time, and now when I go to, let's say, Nike, well, that's zoomed in right there. So if I go here, what you want to do is you'd go to time axis, and you can keep your time zoom. Okay, you could click that. All right, hit apply there. And now if I go back to like triple M, there it is. So everything's defined. So I'm not like jumping around like crazy. If I go there, I'm like this. If I go WBA, so you can kind of look at the chart on the same time frame, time axis. Okay, and that's right there in the widget screen right there. So that's basically that. So studies, this is really cool. This is where if I send you guys a study or something like that, or you buy a study from somebody or get one, you can import it. It's a .ts file, right? And you can import it that way. You can create your own study, and that's your ThinkOrSwim stuff. And we've gone through some stuff there. And then once you create your study, you could share it, right? And then these are just like some, values. If I want to make it, a sign function or something like that, and something I'm working on if you're coding. Okay, so this one here, if you want this, right, here's my 5-minute screen. It includes the orbit, right? So I know on the 5-minute chart, I know where the 15 orb high is. I've got my 4 pivot levels. I've got my cloud, right? I've got my colored go bars and inside bars, right? If I really wanted to, I like my candle as a candle trend. So you see how I went there? You can go to your candle types, chart types, things like that. So candle trend, that now shows if it's a bullish go bar or a bearish go bar, right? Now neither of these are at levels, so they're not tradable. But I can just share this with you, right? So you can share that, and now you've got all the studies that are in here in this one, and you just load it in yours. And if it's different, you don't like your cloud and stuff like that, you can adjust it. So like with the cloud, you can right click on a study here, and then you can edit the study. And so with the cloud, you can see I have the Tenkan removed, the Kijun removed, and then the Chiku removed. I've got all that show plots removed. So it makes my cloud clean. It's just a cloud, right? I don't worry about all the other indicators that come with it, just the cloud itself. Okay, so that's it. So you can click that real quick for studies. It's a little beaker right there. And then you can kind of go through, and you can even go through and explore all the different studies, all the different strategies that ThinkOrSwim has built in it, right? All that stuff, and you can mess with it that way, okay? So that's that. So now here we go to the chart settings, and that we looked at that a second ago. So the first one is your general, and this is important, especially for our 60 anchors that we use. If these are different tabs here for it. If you go to equities, actually no, hold on, time, where is it? I always lose where this goes. It's like start aggregation at, I thought it was here. Even this, it gets a little complicated right here. Notify, show price subgraph. And you can experiment to see how it changes everything, right, on your ThinkOrSwim. Where is this? I thought it was in equities. You guys show me all the time. Here's your volume if you want to add volume to it. Extended hour trading. What's right here is hiding from me. Start aggregation to market open. That's how we want that defaulted, right? So that's what we want it to start at. We want the market to start at 9:30, not at 9 o'clock. So on the 60-minute time frame, it defaults to, on like the mobile app, it defaults it to starting at 9 o'clock, just so it makes each bar an even hour, right? Like a full hour. But we like it because we like that last 60-minute bar because it's compressed at 30 minutes, right? And it gives us that extra oomph at the open, right? Okay, so that's that's this. There's all sorts of cool, so general stuff in here, like you can that way you want to, right? And then price access. So here we just looked at that. You can fit your studies in there, however you want to do it. You can customize. You can go manual, right? Time access, keep that time zoom if you want to do that. You can add corporate actions to it. It just puts like little dots in this. Here, this is like candle trend. You can customize it. Like if I don't want green candles to be my bullish candle, right? If I don't want green candle to be my, I can make it, purple. And look, now my bullish candles are purple, right? You can do whatever you want. Equities, right? You can show CNBC video, things like that. Nope. Yeah, so the studies actually come automatically with it. At least, yeah, they come automatically with it. So, which is cool. And then it adds it automatically to your library. Okay, here's options, right? You can do stuff with options here. So it adds it automatically to your library. So if you go here, if you copy that and you go open shared item, paste in here, right? You'll see it'll include my cloud and everything in it. Okay. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, absolutely. So you can see here, this is the studies shared. If you go to studies and you go edit studies, you'll see it's all in there. And now you have all my stuff. You've got all my studies. They're saved in there. Now they're in your studies list. So you'll be able to find that. Okay. One thing you can do too, if you really like your workspace and you want to save it, right? You could save your workspace as something. And then if you really like it, if you share something, you can do this. You can add it to my trade. You can add it to my trade, And then it's in there too. So it's basically saved if you go to another desktop. So you go to My Trade and you can find that. We'll take a look at that later if I could find it. All right, cool, Paul. Yeah. So to go to edit to edit that, you go to Equities and see how it says Start Aggregation at Market Open. You want to make sure that's starting at the open, right? So just have that checked for your 60-minute chart. So Settings, that little widget right there, Equities, and then start there. Yep. Okay, good. All right, so that kind of goes through that. That kind of goes through a few of these. Style, right? This is kind of neat. That's where you can select your candles. You can type, how you want to, set your prices and all that stuff. So you could save it. Drawings, that's all these things. That's like your trend lines and stuff like that. You can create drawing sets and stuff like that. Studies, we looked at that. You could load study sets. You could save study sets, things like that. You can add studies here instead of going through the edit studies. You can do it through add studies. So if I want to add, like a TTM script, I think, like the TTM squeeze, if I want to add that, you just click on that there and you've got your TTM. And then if I want to remove it, you could edit studies. You could, remove that, apply. If I want to remove all stuff, if it's just driving me nuts and I want to remove everything, I can do that, right? And then it's just back to, oh, wow, price, right? What was all that other stuff? What's price to it, right? That type of thing. Okay, so those are your studies. And then patterns is kind of neat too. Oh, we got a question out there. Hey, Meredith, you missed the part where you explained the blue candles. How do you get those blue candles? Those are the go bars. So the go bars are, right, that's like one of our core day trading, tools that we use. And so if you click up here in the chat window, you can see I shared this study. I can reshare it again right here. Okay. And these are all in the Google Drive, guys. So, and I've done videos on it and all that stuff. So if you want to look at how to load go bars, right, just go to the go bar folder, go bar information, and then you can go to the go bar videos, right? And then there's all sorts of videos on like how to add the go bars to your watch list and and all that stuff. So that's good and helpful. But what you could do is you can go to settings, open shared item, and you go there, preview. You can see my chart. Now you've got all the blue bars and the yellow bars in here, right? So these are our go bars, right? But they have to be at a key level, right? And there's your inside bar, right? All that stuff. So that helps, right? And then if you want to save it, you want to know what it is, right? If you want to just load it on a different chart, it's called inside outside, right? That's your inside outside right there. So that colors in blue and yellow automatically. Okay. So if you just want to load it on your chart without even sharing mine, you could just go here. If I just go studies, edit studies, and it should be saved if you load that. It's called inside outside here. And that'll turn them yellow and blue, just like that. Good? Good. All right, patterns is kind of neat. So you can select patterns to find, right? So here, if I want to find, I don't know, maybe it'll show me like a channel or something like that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. See, there's a falling wedge on here. Nope, nothing. Let's see, I would think there might be like a rectangle or something. Anyway, I don't really use it, right? I mostly look, but it is interesting, right? That you could do this. You can kind of try it a couple times. You could look for a doji maybe. So there's a doji on here. Look at that. It tells you what a doji is. Like, hey, like there's a dot right here on a doji. Hey, there's a doji. Hey, there's a doji. And some people use that. Some people use that a lot. Like, so you could even edit that. Probably you could edit the doji and make it like a size 5 and make it, purple, right? Okay, now, hey, there's a doji right there. So if you have a doji at a key level, you might look for a reversal. Hey, there's a doji there, reversal. Doji there, reversal. Doji there, pause, right? That type of thing. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool tool. To hone in on different things. You can experiment with that. So that pretty much covers everything on that right there. Okay, so the next kind of thing, the next layer up, these guys, okay? So this here is just charts, right? We talked about that, like Kim, we talked about like, making the grids and detaching and all that stuff. So something really cool right here, and I know Dr. Dimples is asking about it. Oh, hey, MicroTrader, is the TTM the same as the one they sell for money? Yeah, pretty much. It's a licensed study. It's pretty much the same. It's also free with TradingView, but I think everybody knows it's pretty much free now. It's pretty much standard with most like TradeStation and ThinkOrSwim, but ThinkOrSwim does pay John Carter to use it. So we got that. All right. So next is FlexGrid. FlexGrid's pretty cool. you know, you can, here you can see I've got like, you know, different things here. If we unlink everything, you know, you kind of unlink this stuff. So one thing you could do is you could have your chart. This is something neat that you could do. You can't do this with the regular chart, but if I wanted to look at the option chart in one screen, right? Now this, yeah, you can detach a flex grid. So if you have multiple monitors, you can put the flex grid over there. So if you wanted to look at, say we're doing like the confluence, right? And I wanted to do, you know, go bar, you know, 5 optimized, whatever the case is here. And here I wanted to do, right? So say that was, this is what I was looking for on NVIDIA, and say I wanted to have the NVIDIA chart up. So say the 19, you know, 1025 calls, the 195 calls. Well, I could put that here too. That, and I could even, you know, studies, edit studies, and, you know, studies, load studies set, you know, go bar, optimize on that. And then I could kind of zoom in like we did before with this, you know, maybe look for confluence or something like that. So here I had, you know, at 1030, you know, there was a go bar on the option chart, but, you know, was there a go bar on the regular chart, right? So you can kind of see, you can have that up there. So you can do that. You can have multiple charts on here. You could have, you know, the calls, the puts, and you can kind of just kind of compare what's going on, you know, on multiple screens. So, hey, Paul, do you look at the option chart to ensure that premium is moving with the stock price? Yes, I always do. So before I trade an option, I'm going to make sure that it's behaving. There's some flow to it. There's some volume, right? It's never going to be exactly the same, right? Because the volume is, the supply and demand is slightly different on options, right? They're calculated a little bit differently. Like theta, you could see this bar right here, but you could start to see it starting to fade, you know, because of theta, just the price just decaying and all that stuff. So you can see that too. But yeah, definitely. And I use the levels here. I use the floor pivot levels just like I do here. I use those for targets. They help. Right, for targets, they help for stops, moving stops. I use the cloud too, because, you know, cloud breaks on the option chart, you know, could be very interesting as well, right? And then you could have multiple things out here. So say I wanted to have this, and I want to have like the ES right here to see what the ES was doing, and I wanted the, you know, the vol SBD, or, you know, whatever the case is. So whatever I wanted on one screen to like help me make a decision, right? You could have it all on your flex grid, which is really, really cool. And the fact that you could put options on here all in one thing is neat. Okay, so that's that. And then there's a product depth. This is kind of, I believe this is kind of new, but it just basically shows you your the implied volatility, right? So it's got GE pulled up right here, but I could put like, you know, the Walgreens call, you know, implied volatility, right? You know, based on strike price. So if I'm at, you know, so you can see like the farther out I am, right? Here, the higher the volatility goes, right? So like little things like that. And this just shows, you know, different things like that. I mean, this is kind of a funky chart. I mean, it's really trading off of this. There's no time to do it. You can play around with that, right? You can customize all that stuff, but it gives you different depth. And to show you open interest, you can put volume. So this is actually helpful. This shows you like where all the open interest is, right? So if it's really heavy right here, right, that might be a place where they pin the options on Friday, right? Because you know, the market maker wins, right? If it's up here, somebody's going to win a lot on calls. If it's down here, somebody's going to win a lot on puts. So they might try to pin it there. Sometimes they do. So sorry guys, Paul, do you look for the option chart? Yep. And then Bose, do you have several study sets for 15 orb, 30 orb, et cetera, resistance lines? Yes, sir. I do. Like occasionally I create them. I really just rely on the main one, like just, you know, the main one that you guys see me use on the live streams. That's the one I just shared, you know, but there's sometimes I'll experiment with ones and I'll create one just in case, you know, that type of stuff. Chai2, how do you check the option price of a stock for the past day? So any simple way to check if the premiums are high or not, or is the IV the higher premiums? Yeah, so that's what I do a lot. So let's go back to the charts. So you guys see me do that a lot on live stream. So say here, you know, if I go to the daily, here, and I just want to see like where the options are, you know, related to the prior day, right? So yeah, so you can look at the IV, right? You can kind of look at that, but you can also just kind of look at the options themselves. So say like the 55 calls on WBA. So I just want like this week's 55 calls. So 19, 10, 25 calls 55. Okay, so you want to look at those. Okay, so you can see here over time, right? And you can right click on that, X out of there. So I go WBA. So WBA has drifted down a little bit, and the calls have drifted down, but they've drifted down at a more exponential rate, because you see that WBA ended with a doji today, but we're getting some theta decay in here too. So you can see over time how they've drifted down, right? That's kind of like your logarithmic drift down of the option. So you can kind of see, relatively how expensive they are, right? And then, sometimes they're not even available, not even traded at a certain time, right? So these go back all the way to September, which is kind of interesting, right? But you can see why back here they were so high, right? Because, Walgreens on 9/11, it was pretty high, right? So, and then it also came down too. But you can see even as it went up, right, we still had some decay going on, if that helps. And then you could put the IV in there too, like you go like this, and then you could actually put the volatility of the options themselves, and you go like this, you go studies, infall, and I think it should show it here. That's open interest. This is theoretical option price. That is interesting when you're trading with it too. Sorry, the infall doesn't work on this one. There's an idea. Okay. Okay, so hopefully that helps. That's how you track that. And you can actually load it multiple ways. So if you go to WBA, if you don't want to type in like the option name like I do, right, you can go to the 55s. You could right click on it here and hit copy, right, and then you can paste it in here. Okay, and that's one way to put the option chart in. Another way you could do it too is you go to the trade window and you click here and you say buy. I'm sorry, you could add it to a chart. Okay, so you get a quick quote on it that would go down here. Okay, you could go to a quick chart right here. You can see what the option chart looks like right there, or you could send it to a real chart too. Bose, one silly question. Is there any way we can get an alert when there is a go bar on the watch list? So yeah, there is. There's a couple ways you could do it, okay? One way you could do it is create a scan for go bars and add it to a watch list, right? So one thing you could do is here you could go watch list, and you could go, I think I have one here. Let me see, so file, hold on, sorry guys. File personal, go to the, I've got like double inside bar. I don't think I have go bars on here. Oh yeah, outside bar is the same thing. So outside bar is this. So I've got this here, this scan is looking for outside bars on the go-to list. Okay, so if I have that, then you have that here, okay? And you can create your own, using our scripts and all that stuff. But I mean, I can share that with you there, obviously. And then another thing that we could do is you create an alert when the scan results change. Okay, so if you're looking for it on that list, you could go here and then you could change it for 5-minute go bars or 15-minute go bars, whatever the case is there. Okay, so that's how you edit those. Okay, and I think I have a video on that in the group, in the thing. Okay, so that's the easiest way to do it. Now it's a little delayed sometimes, but what we did is, your day job won't let me open anything at work only, right? Exactly. So that I don't know how the alerts sometimes are delayed and things like, and it is tough. But we do have GoBar Mobile, right? So if you go to Tools, Scripts on the Google Drive, we've got GoBar Mobile, and what that'll do is it'll show an arrow on your chart, on your mobile chart, if there's a GoBar forming. Right, it's tough because the levels don't work. They don't. The actual floor pivot levels don't work on the mobile. But if you have a stock that you're really tracking, you can write those in. Excuse me. Okay, so that's that. Excuse me. All right, cool. So that's one way to do it. Other question. All right, good. MicroTrader on the bottom. MicroTrader. I don't remember what that was about. I apologize. Never mind. Okay, cool. All right, good. So, all right, so that's basically that. So this is, those are the charts. Okay, so we went through that. We went product depth. We went through style, drawing studies, patterns. We went through watch list. We went through flex grid, product depth. I mean, little things like this, like little drop downs here. You could see like your the last thing that you looked at up here, like recent stuff. If you want to look at futures, you could pull up all the different futures that are out there. Different options, indices, right? Your Dow Jones and all that stuff. Your foreign exchange pairs, right? So just really cool stuff like that. You can look things up real quick, personal, blah blah blah. So that's kind of neat. Okay, so that's charts. Where do we leave off? What were we talking about? Okay, so just some questions. Okay, cool. So, all right, so kind of going clockwise still, we'll get to the outer layer right here last, and we'll kind of get through as much of that as we can. I'm not getting too in depth of how to make scans and stuff like that, but this is really cool here. There's a lot of cool tools on the right-hand side here, okay? Here's your prices, by the way. You can move them up and down. You can resize your chart and all that stuff. Here's your time and all that stuff. You scrunch it all together and all that stuff. Okay, so here is a trade. So if you wanted to, you could, if you trade with ThinkOrSwim, you could use these tools right here. You could buy at the market, sell at the market, and all that stuff. So that's a kind of a dangerous button. But if you really like it, you can just click it a bunch, right, and buy a bunch of stuff. So that's cool. Time and sales is cool. This shows you, it's not active right now because there's no time and sales on WBA, but it shows you like kind of the trades that are going through, by some people actually, it's called like reading the tape, right? When it kind of goes up, you can kind of see when the buying stops and when the selling stops and all that stuff. Personally, you can do the exact same thing watching the chart at different key levels, but some people are like, oh, if you could read the tape, you're awesome. It's actually really hard to read the tape, supposedly. And I think probably most people that claim they can probably can't, but anyway, you can read a chart. Right? Is it clicking up? Is it resisting? You can look at the pulse of the chart and see what's going on if there's buying and selling. But it is cool to have it. I mean, if you can see if it's going down, there's selling. If it's going up, there's buying. I mean, it's pretty sensible. Active Trader is cool. This is the DOM, right? The depth of market. It's not the best depth of market tool in the world, but it's pretty good, right? It shows you kind of this shows you your spreads, right? So if you're here, this gray area right here, that's the market level, right? Or the midpoint level or the market. So if you bought at the market, you'd probably get filled, somewhere around there. But you can also see your bids and your asks, right? Well, so actually if you did hit the market, you'd grab the ask, right? If you hit the bid, right, you sold, like you'd hit the bid right there. So at the market, right? And then you can jump around, like you see some stocks like they're way up here and way down here, and you're like trying to trade it. You're like, I don't think I like that. I got too much at risk. Or you can see where all the volume is too on the sides too, but that goes away after time on ThinkOrSwim. Okay, so that's a really cool tool. Big buttons is just, if you like to click buttons to buy things. Chart, that brings you back to the chart. So if you're ever like, where's my chart? You can go over here, click this. If it doesn't show up, click your chart. If it still doesn't show up, you can actually click this thing right here. And sometimes it's just more order entry tools, and it does sometimes show up. And if you still don't see it, like I don't, there it is right there. Then you can see that little guy and just kind of, you can always right click and auto zoom in, and that kind of gets you back to center. Okay. That's, you get phase scores. Okay, so this shows all sorts of stuff like your volume ratio, accumulation. I mean, if anybody has time to study this stuff during the day, have fun. Dashboard is just sort of more big buttons and stuff like that. Level 2. This is Paul had a question about level 2. Was one of our questions. And so level 2 is, if you don't have it on yours, I think you can add it free through the ThinkOrSwim website. And if you can't figure out where that is, you can call them up and ask them, hey, how do I add level 2? And I think it's free. It's just not default to it. So I think it's free. It depends on how, I don't know. It's free for me. I can't remember if it was because I trade so much. I don't remember what the deal was, but I'm pretty sure everybody would get it for free. So you just have to request it. There might be a data fee to it. I don't know. But level 2, that basically shows you everything, right? That shows you level 2. You can see the full book, the NASDAQ full book. You see the BATS Edge book, everything this is the book, right? This is all the orders that are out there, right? It's free. Thank you, Meredith. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's free. I can't remember what the guy said. He's like, oh, I think he made it feel like I was special. He's like, oh yeah, you can get it free because he didn't give a reason. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Anyway, so you can do that. You get level 2. You can look at your books and all that stuff. And really you could see basically what your bids and your asks are. Right? You can see this with options too. Some people like to put this in their grid too. They like to have it up there, but it comes here too. But you can see what's going on, right? You can see what's, you know, do I have more people trying to sell up here versus buy? So you get that, right? And that's really cool. So you can see the bid is 42 cents. You can see the spread is about 20 cents right now. Sometimes it jumps around. How do you see the options on it? Well, you got to go to the option chart itself. So if I go to .WBA 19, you know, 1025 calls 55, if I go to 55 calls, right, it would show me the bids and the asks on the options themselves. So I can see the spread too. You know, so I could see, hey, I've got 53 on the bid, you know, for the options at 9 cents and for a 5-cent spread. Can you see the stop limits in level 2? No, you can't see stops. You can't see stops. But you can see orders on the, you can see orders in Active Trader. You can see, not necessarily stops, but you can see somebody's got an order up there. Well, I mean, I guess you sort of see it, right? Because that's somebody's order. And actually some institutions have gotten in trouble for that, because what they'll do is they'll put like something out here at like 5,000 or something like that, like 50,000 shares or whatever the case is, and so for some traders, you look at the book and you're like, oh my goodness, there's big sellers up there, I'm getting out of the way, and then before you know it, they remove that 50,000, then they start buying it up, so nobody beats them. It's, you know, a little bit, yeah. Ask size, bid size, exactly. Yep. Visible on level 3. Are they? I think they are. I don't have level 3, but I think you could probably see them. It's usually pretty obvious, right? It's usually, you can see volume, right? So usually stops are hiding behind volume. You know they do. If they see a big one. Yeah, bid spoofing, exactly. Now, it would be cool. I would love to be able to see all the bids and all that. I want to see everything in like 3-dimension, you know, what's going on. But right, we're retail and we don't have access to that stuff. But I think it is possible. Dark pools and all that stuff, you can see that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's why if you have Active Trader or something like that, if you got a big volume thing, you could hide your bid. You guys saw me do it the other. It didn't help. I got stopped out, but if that was on the options. But if you see a big volume right here, you can kind of hide your stop below there, and at least say, like, hey, they'll at least take all those guys first, right, before they get me. And you could use volume profile for that too on the regular chart. You know, it just all depends on your strategy and, you know, what you got going on. So that's really cool stuff. So that was, Paul had that question. Live news is the other thing. So if I've got like, so Amazon, so you guys see me click on this a lot. Exactly, that paints the picture. So Amazon, as you guys know, got crushed after hours, right? So so that should be interesting. I'm surprised that the queues. Let's see, where's my internals here? There. So I mean, Amazon's down 150 points, and really, like, the queues are down 50 cents. This market, I tell you, can we not have like a down day? I know, Paul, I do. I need more watch lists. I just don't understand how Amazon's down, you know, almost 200 points, and like the queues or NASDAQ is like green. I mean, Intel, give me a break. Anyway, whatever. That's fine. It's just funny. I know Intel went up. It's like, really? And it even drifted down too. It's not even up that much anymore. It's up a point. Like Amazon's down like 100 points. Anyway, it's all good. This is not the best news source in the world. Like, I talked to the guy at Ameritrade, and he's like, oh yeah, you get all the up-to-date news. It's like I see a move today on that one you guys asked me about at the close, and it's like there's nothing on here. You know, it'd be cool if it was great, but I mean, it'd be cool if it was like, you know, Bloomberg Terminal, but it's not. Okay, and that's live news. That's everything on the side right here. I think you can customize it and add stuff to it, but that pretty much covers everything there. Okay. So yeah, so when everything is linked together here in the grid, right? If I make that yellow there too, so you guys, I can jump between the 1 minute and the 1 minute time frame real quick with those arrows. So that's one way to do it. Okay. Yeah, they dropped for a little bit and came back up. That's fine. It's just funny. All right, cool. Monitor. This allows you to see like your open trades and stuff like that. Okay, so there's like your working orders, your filled orders. Okay, it shows your positions. You can't see anything right here. In fact, let me take a moment here and just kind of, we'll go back to this. I'll show you on demand in a little bit, and hopefully it doesn't crash the computer. So maybe you can mess with your orders here. Trade, this is where you look at your options right here. right? You can go look at all sorts of stuff. There's cool stuff here. There's like trade grid. You could put, it's got your level 2 in there. It's got statistics. You can see how many Intel calls and puts were purchased, and the IVs and all any of that stuff that interests you. Option time and sales. This is interesting, right? You could see what has been traded today on this. Now it doesn't, if it has high volume, a lot of it will go away, right? But you can see like, hey, somebody bought, if somebody tells you it's like, oh, I just bought 100 calls of, the 53 calls at 89 cents. I bought 100 of them. Yeah, you could just pull up option time and sales real quick and look and be like, no, you didn't, dude. You bought one. Like that type of thing, right? So this shows you a lot of stuff like that. It's pretty cool. You can see your orders too. You can see your orders. So if you place an order, you can go back and look at it and be like, yeah. It tells flows too. Yeah, it tells flows. So you can see the different flow that goes through, and you can kind of see really cool stuff. So time and sales, very interesting. Gives you your quantities, the bigs, the highs, and all that stuff. Product depth is cool too. This is what we talked about. So it shows like open interest, big stuff there. This is showing all, but you could select just the calls. Right? You can see where Intel had the most volume. I wish they had a better graph in this. This is kind of hard to interpret, but it shows you, it can give you a little bit of perspective. Obviously, the majority is going to be around the at the monies. So, yeah, Paul. Yeah. So I was just trying to go through that just now. So here, so on the grid, right? Let's say I have like these three right here, and or whatever. So if you go here, you just use these arrows, right? And you connect them through the link, right? So if I want to, if I see something that doesn't match up here, so I want to link this there. Okay, so now I've got like a 4-hour chart. So I've got the 4-hour chart, the 5, and the 1 chart. Get frames really quickly. Yep, but not sure how to do that. I've pinned the toolbar where I can switch through up to 7 charts with a click of a button. It seems like your arrow method allows you to change through more quicker. It does on this screen right here. It just you just put them in the different grid, like however you want to set up your grid, and you can set up like your time frames, for each one. You can do it right here. I can make the hourly, the 5-minute. If I link this here, I can make this the 15-minute, right? The 1 minute again, right? You can link it there, right? And just keep linking it and all that stuff. And then when you go back, you maximize it. You can maximize one of these, and then it's all here in the grid, and you just boom, 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 boom. I can just kind of go through and just click the different charts so I can see what's going on real quick. Yeah. Yeah. It's legit. It's good stuff. Okay. So monitor, trade, analyze. Analyze is pretty cool. Analyze is a pretty cool tab. Yeah, when you maximize it. Yeah, maximize, then restore if it doesn't work right away. So, oh, sorry guys, I had some Q&As right here. Ahoy, are they? What are your favorite hotkeys? I don't use hotkeys. I don't use hotkeys. But if I did, it would be, I don't think it would be one. If I traded shares, it'd just be like buy, 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 sell, 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 buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. So that would be kind of that. Don't use hot. Snake, what's going on? Let's see, the chart with the minor pivot line, etc., is a script. Exactly, it is a script. So that's the and with all the minor pivots and all that stuff, the floor pivots. That's the script right there, right? So studies here, edit studies, and if I just load study set, go bar opted. So the different levels right here, those are scripts, right, to give us those levels, right? And so what I could do is share it with you, right? And you could load it up there, and you could use it however you want to. Right, so I'll just put that in here. Right, we've also got it in the script folder in the Google Drive. Right, so you go to the Google Drive, you go to scripts. It's all the different scripts are in there. And that's it. Those arrows, exactly. So you get those arrows by making more grids. Right? If you only have one, the arrows go away. If you have, 2, you can't see them right here, but if you go like this, if you maximize it, they come up, okay? Then you can go through it one at a time. And that's how you manage multiple ones like that. The chart with the minor, yep, so that's that. Also, I've been trying to add an additional line to the monitor tab to move over sold items. I can't remember how to add. Oh. So working orders, filled orders to move over sold items. I don't know that you can kind of create like different, I have like, it's called positive trends, but you can You can create all sorts of stuff. I'm not exactly sure how to do that. And yes, the grid for arrows, that's exactly it, are they? And then I see you highlight and zoom. If that's not a hotkey, how do you activate the zoom command? So with zoom, so I highlight to zoom, right? But you can click this right here. You can zoom in real quick. You can zoom out real quick. You can right click and you can auto zoom so you can see everything. Or you can just kind of click this and zoom in. I just use the arrow to zoom in, right? And then you could also use these side things right here to zoom. Yeah. And then sneak. So you're trying to add an additional line on the monitor tab to move over sold items. I can't remember how to add. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure like how to organize it once you're in there. But I'm sure the guys could help at the ThinkOrSwim group. There's probably like some sort of tool here that you could use. Sorry, no, not familiar with that one. Drawing set. Yeah, so all I use the drawing set for is here. So I use it a lot, like if I have multiple analyses going on, right? So you guys notice like on SPX, like for the newsletter and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, it's added the terms to it, right? Exactly. So if you go to SPX, right, you'll see like I save like all my pivot levels that I put out there, like these, right? And so so for here, my drawing set for today or for tomorrow is October 25th, right? And then you guys know I do like the that's where I like when we're day trading, right? I want to know where the open gaps are. If I'm really focusing on the hourly chart here, I want to know where that open gap is, right? If I'm trying to get to this open gap, I can focus on that between levels, and it's right there. And so that's part of the drawing set that I use. So it's good for that. It's also good too if you've got like a study that you want to look at, but you don't want to use it now. Like I'll do like maybe a certain Elliott wave count, like you could do like Elliott waves on there and you could save it as something. And you could put different wave counts out there and see how they look, or you put different, kind of trend lines and channels, any different drawings you want to do. If one, you just want to do channels, one you want to do, whatever, like Fibonacci's and all that stuff, you can kind of set it like that. So good. Yep. So that's that. So that's trade. Analyze, actually Analyze is a really cool tab. Hold on a second. One of the cool things too is that you can, before clicking on the tab, it shows you the dropdown, what's in it. That's really helpful, right? So Analyze, if I like the chart here and I want to see the fundamentals of McDonald's, right? I want to learn more about the company. You click on that, and it gives you the name, company address, their phone number, right? It shows you like their earnings, like compared to like each year and all that stuff. It gives you like lots of really cool data on the company, right? Lots of good information that you could get. It gives you their website and all that stuff. It shows you what what people think of it, what the street thinks of it, et cetera, right? You get all that stuff in here. And then here you can see its subtabs right here. You got, earnings. You could look at, different things like that. Economic data. Right, it's pretty cool. Probability analysis. This stuff is cool. I'm not going to get into too much detail on it, but you can analyze, what your options are going to do. It's really cool. Scan. This is the scanner tool, right? This is how we can look for instance, like the CCI stuff, right? Gives you that, and then you could load your scans into a watch list, right? We have a bunch of scans on the Google Drive. Like we could scan for, inside days. If one of inside bars, right? We could look for inside days, scan for that. That's looking in the 30 orb list. So you could go like all stocks. So these are all the inside days. You could sort by volume, get the big ones. So like ANTM had an inside day, right? So ANTM, inside day. Let's see what that is right there. You see how it's inside the entire bar right there? Based on that definition. So we have an inside day on that. So little scans like that, that's a really cool tool, and you can customize that, things like that. Market Watch is neat, guys. This is cool. Quotes, right, just kind of shows you the basic stuff there. But alerts, I think I had a question about alerts. Hold on. Oh, no, that was it, Bose. You asked that earlier. Yeah, so these alerts, if you set an alert on your chart, these are the open alerts right here. So I had like an alert on Tesla. Like if it started to break out today, that would, pop up on my computer and be like, hey, Tesla's moving, go back and look at Tesla, stuff like that, right? Visualize is cool too. This is your heat map. You can look at the heat map of the the S&P 500, right? You can see, so if you're like, oh man, today's a really rough day, nothing's going up. Well, you can go right here real quick and see that Microsoft went up, Amazon, that type of stuff, right? You can look at the green ones and see that maybe there's something interesting there, right? There's all sorts of stuff you could experiment with. The calendar is really cool too. I like this. So, if you have a question about economic events, right, you could pull up like the monthly calendar, right? And you can kind of see what's going on. You see there's a lot of economic events here, right? And so if you really want to see, if you're looking for the unemployment rate, consumer confidence rate, money supply, right? You can see all this stuff on the economic calendar, right? And you can go to the weekly chart, kind of see less or more. You switch by weeks here. You can see it here. So, if you have a question like what time is the Fed speaking, or what time is unemployment rate, you click on that. It's at 4:55 a.m., right, on the 30th. Okay, so that's a pretty cool tool. The calendar tool is cool. You could also look for earnings. Who's got earnings today? It was 360 stocks with earnings. That's pretty big. Tomorrow or today, well, it was the 31st, but anyway, you get the idea. So, so today's the 24th, right? So 247 today. So you click on that. You can kind of zoom into the day, and they show you all the earnings that are today, right? So you can see all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. Conference calls, splits, stock splits, dividends, things like that. So it's a pretty neat little tool right there, right? Then you go back to charts, and that's the thing we like the most, right? Tools. I don't really mess around here too much, but MyTrade, that's what we looked at earlier. I saved my workspace to MyTrade. So if I ever like opened up like a new thing, right, you can probably find me in here too, but here's my workspace I just saved, right? That's in MyTrade, right? If I go to just my page, right, here's a bunch of stuff I've got saved here. So I've got workspaces saved, grid saved, things like that. So if I ever go to a different computer, I could find all my stuff there, right? So that's kind of cool. And then I guess you can post ideas too. It shows my shared items right here. So I shared with you a bunch of grids and stuff like that. Videos, there's Kramer, right? Think log. You can also see like trade feeds. You can see what some people are trading out there, I believe. What else do they have? Tools, videos, trade feed, people I follow, favorites. Anyway, you could see what's kind of being traded out there. Some people post their trades, so you can kind of see what's happening, what people are thinking. So that's kind of neat stuff. And that's tools. Education's really cool. If you guys want to learn more like about ThinkOrSwim, right, you could use these tools right here, frequently asked questions, more stuff on technical analysis. I mean, TD Ameritrade really does a great job, right? Today's trade activity, option time and sales. It gives you lots of cool stuff you want to explore in there in education. And then ultimately, like I said, help. So obviously you can ask me questions, anything I can do to help. If I know it, I'll let you guys know. But you could always call them and just call them up. And I'm telling you guys, if you have like questions, like deep questions about options, you can talk to their trading desk. And these guys are pretty good. They know a lot of stuff. They, if you're like, hey, how do I do an iron condor? Or like, like you said it, before, like, blah, blah, all that stuff. Like, so, and, if you want to trade spreads, but you want to have a cash account, you can actually have a separate account that's a margin account just for spreads. You can have multiple accounts in ThinkOrSwim, and you can load them all up, here. You can link them all together through their website and stuff like that. So I think that pretty much covers everything. Let me go to and see if anybody else posted any questions. I think I got to all of them there. So yeah, so it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So Chaitu, so on the watch list, how can I load the corresponding chart? So yeah, so you're saying if you click on this, how do I pull McDonald's up here? Is that what you're asking? Okay, so you just link them through that link up here. So you can unlink it. It's that little chain link right there. You click that and you make them the same color, or same number, right? So that's purple and purple 9, right? So they're all linked together now in that watch list. So if I go to Apple, Apple will get pulled up. If I go to Pfizer, Pfizer will pull up. So that's why then you can just click through your watch list. Now, wouldn't it be great if it could load like this when we're doing our live streams at the close? It takes so long to get all the data in. I mean, we could be through that chart and like I'd be like, no, right, that and be done. But it's all good. It's fun to pause and look at it. So I don't see any other questions out there. So Yeah, it's been a day, but it's been fun. It was a good day today. Tomorrow's Friday, guys. So we've got option expiration day and all that good happy fun stuff. We got some lottos. We got Amazon's going to be cheap, guys. Just so you know, I'm looking at doing a straddle at the open on Amazon. Okay, so my guess on Amazon, my educated guess on Amazon, is that it's going to move tomorrow, right? We're gapping down to what, 1600? We're gapping down like 120 points on Amazon. I mean, the last moved up from here from 1974 down to 1940, so it moved 30 points. Okay, we're going to move down 100 and some points on Amazon tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be a choppy day. I don't think we're going to have like a 10-point range day. 125, and hopefully it's more in the morning. I mean, hopefully nobody's stuck in it, right? But hopefully everybody knows now not to hold shares, certainly through earnings. And if you're doing a lotto, just a little lotto, right? So no big deal. But so I'm thinking about doing a straddle at the open. I'm hoping. Oh yeah, it's only 5%, but it's significant for the stock, right? Oh yeah, I remember Facebook. Oh, it was the best. And the best part about it too was I don't know how he got away with it, but Zuckerberg sold like, where was it? It was way back here. Hold on. Isn't that long ago? When did it just drop there? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There. Yeah, back in what day was that? That was July 2018. So, a little over a year ago. Yeah, just like got slammed, right? So it dropped that much. So the range of that day was 6 points, right? Which is crazy. But I think Amazon will probably have at least a 20-point range tomorrow. So if they're cheap enough, if the options are cheap enough, and we could get it, it's Friday, but if we could get it like a spread or a straddle for like $5, maybe even $10, and we can get a quick move like that, we can make a quick profit off of that, and don't even care about what direction it's going. Just the fact that it's going to move, right? Whether they buy the dip or whether they flush it, like we could profit from it with that. So, but we have to be careful with theta on a Friday. So basically, we would want to close within the first 30 minutes to an hour, that type of thing. So that's something I'm thinking about tomorrow. But either way, we'll check out the 15 orb on it and see what that does. But anyway, good stuff, guys. Well, that was fun. Hopefully, you guys got some, so clued into it. This is going to be recorded, so you can go back and kind of go through this and. Learn about it. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and then also feel free to call the ThinkOrSwim trading desk too to get that info too. So good stuff. Glad you found it helpful. I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. I'll see you on the live stream later. I had one question here. Can you please give a quick info of using alerts? So MicroTrader. So using alerts, it's basically you just go right click if you see a price, create alert here. And then you can customize your alert on that, right? So you could go, if the market is over 198 on Facebook, then let me know, right? You can kind of customize it down here. You can send it to your mobile phone. You can send it to your email. And then you could even set a time on it when the alert would go off. You can have it, go through crossovers and all that sort of stuff. So you can hit create, right? And then know your alerts on there. Now you can move your alert. You can say, oh, I really want it when it's over 170. You can replace that, right? And you can exit it here. So that's pretty cool. So that's just one way. And then you can customize it. So you could either replace the alert or you could just view the notes on it and be like, hey, Facebook is going up, and set a little note for yourself. And then when you'll get it, it'll say, hey, Facebook is going up, and you go to it, right? So that's pretty cool. Well, good stuff, guys. I had fun. As always, I appreciate your guys' support, and thank you guys for being members, and we're doing great, and looking forward to Friday and having a great trading day tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tonight. If anybody joins on the live stream tonight, we'll finish our talk on the 60 anchors, and it should be good. Everybody remember your risk first, and stay safe, so you can stay in the game, and enjoy your evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey Eric, yeah, the recording, as you guys know, I'll post it. So as soon as it's done, and I'll download it, post it to our page, and I'll put it in our drive, right on the Google Drive. I'll put it in the videos folder, right, and it's a subscriber videos and all that stuff. So I'll add something here called I'll just call it like intro to think or swim, something like that. And I'll put the video in there. Okay. All right, guys, have a great evening. I'll talk to you guys soon. Whoa, wait, great session. Yeah, definitely bother the health test, guys. They're great. Now they come off a little brusque, right? They're kind of like traders up in Chicago, and they're real busy and all that stuff. But if you talk to them and all that stuff, they're really cool. They will help you out. Sometimes they can give you clues on stuff. Like you could ask, I don't know, you could ask them like, hey, are there any big trades going on today or anything like that? Anything interesting? They can give you information. That's not insider information, but anyway, good stuff. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.